Story about Jay-Z. Now, when I first put the story up, I seen a lot of negative comments. Kind of shocked me. I'm like, what the? Then I had to think. People just have one track mind of thinking. They think if you're involved with the system in any kind of way, it's wrong. It needs to be destroyed. And I do understand aspects of that argument. But Jay-Z, pretty much donated $3 million, and it's only the first round of funding, really, to a company called Promise. And basically, and the easiest way to explain this in layman's terms is people going in and out in the system. You have a large number of us that, we know that are convicted, that go in, not even convicted, but are being held in the facility for nonviolent, offenses, usually drug offenses. So what Jay-Z is now invested $3 million in a company that's going to develop an app that's going to help these people, mostly minorities, as we know, deal with the system a little better. I.e., helping them instead of them waiting in jail. Because if we look at the whole process, and this website here did put a beautiful, TechCrunch.com put a beautiful diagram together. If you look at the process of going through prison right here or through jail, you see, if we just jump all the way to 6, low-income people are faced with the choices to go into debt, paying bail or stay in jail. And when you stay in jail, your family's affected. At that time, you lose a lot of things. Your job's not going to wait for you, and you still got bills at the end of the day. So, God forbid, a lot of times you're not even convicted. Most of the time, if you have money, you can get a lawyer, but most of the people don't have the money. So what they're trying to do is be an mediator and come in and say, well, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to set up a plan specifically, individually for you, like me and your plan to be different, and assure that you go, to your drug test, to assure that you don't miss no court date. Kind of like a liaison between them and the system. You know what I mean? So they don't have to go through the system. Won't be as harsh, as just going through there, because the system is all messed up and all broken at the end of the day. So it's going to be an app. So if I get locked up, essentially, I will go in, instead of me being locked up and sitting in there, this company will come to my county called Promise. They will set up a program. They will meet with me to see what's best for my needs. They will give me an application on my phone, and they would help me make sure that we go through this process together. Also, on the back end of that process, they and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. They're going to help with job training and help people find jobs. What do you think, though, initially about the first part, and we'll deal with the second part right after that?
Oh, initially, just listening to the story, it sounds great. I mean,
Right.
It sounds like a good move on Jay-Z's part. And you alluded to the fact that you hear a lot of negative comments, and I mean, those are naysayers and things like that. But they have valid points, and we'll get into their points, stress into their points in a second. But to initially hear it, it sounds like a great move on Jay-Z's part, and it basically stands to the point of when you hear people talk about and complain about Jay-Z, what is he doing for the people? What is he doing with all this wealth? What is he doing with the situation where we see it? I mean, we talked about it in the last couple of podcasts, how he has the Rock Nation Sports, and he has the clothing line, and he has the music, he has the branding. He's trying to make it a one-stop shop for everybody. And we know how this justice system works, and we know that it's a billion-dollar industry, and it's set up systematically for us to fail and never to get out.
There you go.
You know what I mean? It's set up for like a fish net in the ocean. You throw it in there, you capture us, and we're never out. We're just chopped up food until at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And it's set up very, very well. So when you see a situation like this with Jay-Z, and he uses the technology of today and puts it on an app on the phone, because he knows everyone has a cell phone at the end of the day.
Yep.
And it's as easy as going on your phone and going on like a social media app, but making sure you straight and talking it and putting it in a language to where they can understand it, because that's another problem. They don't have the right situation. They have these court order attorneys that they don't have the money, and they're not giving them the proper situations and avenues and the ways they can fight situations. So they just, like I said, in that fishnet caught up in the guppies and shit. So you have a app that will be able to talk to them the way they need to be spoken to and get them in a situation where they can find help. Because a lot of these brothers and sisters are hit with non-violent crimes.
Yep.
It's a drug situation, and if we really go into the situation of why they're even selling drugs, is to feed their family and take care of it. So why they're looking for a way out, they just feel like they don't have one. So Jay-Z's giving them a way out.
Right.
From the outset, it looks great, absolutely. But you've had a lot of naysayers, like we alluded to earlier. So I'm going to get out of the funny shit, and I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second, because you got a lot of people saying that it's bullshit. You have a lot of people saying that he works with the feds. You have a lot of people saying a lot of negative things about the situation. So I'm going to first off say that I'm going to say a lot of the negative things are your fault. You Oh God.
Okay.
Hip Hop News Uncensored. We'll get into that later because a lot of the stuff that I'm reading, it just makes me, it was like, yeah, me and him going to have a nice little debate when it comes to this. But let's talk about the naysayers. Let's talk about, well, first off, what do you think about what are your initial thoughts, and what would you say to the naysayer?
Well, to the naysayer, I'll just say let the thing materialize first. Again, I understand that people who say, we need total reform in the system. I definitely understand that at the end of the day. But, a lot of people left a lot of comments, man. I'm going to pull up a few of the comments here before I actually get too deep into my dissertation right here. Let's see. About time. All right, so let me pull this up. All right, so one person put here, so what? This is some more bullshit in order to save his image. I'm not impressed. You and Beyonce take your money and build some schools in the inner city. Use your public platform and your political platform and get your political friends like Obama to get us, damn, this is long, some untainted drinking water in the U.S. You know what I mean? So y'all can go and read through that. I mean, it's very detailed. That's just one of the comments. I'll let the people go ahead and we get the gist of what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they poured their heart out on that one. Somebody else put BS there. Somebody put sorry, 3 million is not going to do a thing. All right, here's the one, Rhonda L. This is the one I wanted to put on.
Yeah, I'm reading this right now. Yeah,
right. This is the one that had to stand out to me. Come on, people, don't be fooled by this. Do really people think he's helping people? And ask yourself, why now? The elite knows that a way to get us back on Jay's team was to put some money in our face. Wake up, people. He don't care about you or your circumstances.
She didn't back that up with any proof, though.
No, not at all.
There's no validity to that other than her opinion. It's a strong opinion, and it does need to be noted, and we're going to get into it. But at the end of the day, when you say such strong words, because, I mean, your platform is huge. And when people see this stuff and they look at the stuff like that, and when you say things like that, it does raise questions. And it does, I mean, it makes you have that argument. So is that counterproductive to the cause itself? Because a lot of people and a lot of naysayers, like Yolanda L. Shout out to your comment, because it was an awesome comment.
Yes, yes.
But a lot of the naysayers, they would go to that and they would talk about the schools. But how do we know the schools aren't being built yet? How do we know he's not going there yet and dealing with the local stuff yet? I mean, he's helping people within and out of the system try to get and find a way out, because they have absolutely none. And that's a lot of our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles. There's a lot of people that we're closely related to.
Right.
So, I mean, that comment is definitely needs to be noted, but it also needs to be backed up with some kind of evidence. Does this brother have money? Is he taking any third-party money or third-party kind of donation that help fund the prison system? Is Rock Nation or Jay-Z ever been found to fund the prison system or anything like that? Now, you have a lot of other people in here saying that Jay-Z, last they heard, he was a snitch. And last they heard, Dame Dash said he was a snitch. And now, the reason why I blame you is because you put up a video basically saying that he was a snitch. Jay-Z was a snitch. Now, I don't argue that video because it was news and it needed to be disseminated. It was very, very interesting news.
Right.
Very interesting news. But what would you say to those people that just say this is a snitch act because you backed it up with some validity? Yeah,
Dame Dash did initially call him a snitch. He did. And I think it was an article that came out. But he was referring to someone on his team, actually. You remember I said on the video when Jay-Z said on the song, to keep it 100 was Juan's bill?
Yep.
Well, apparently Juan Rivera's wife cooperated with the DEA.
Gotcha.
To bring down some Colombian. I didn't even go that deep into the story like I could have. You know what I mean? To bring down some Colombian like drug lords or some shit like that. But Dame Dash is pretty much saying, how could you like be doing business with somebody like that cooperated with the DEA? You know what I mean? So that's kind of the gist, of that story. And you have a lot of other people who have accused Jay-Z when they went to Cuba. They accused him of doing something like spying with the whole Sada Shakur situation. So there's been other things. You have people accuse Jay-Z of giving information back, and Dame Dash, that's another part to the video I didn't even get into, where Dame Dash said the Fed was on him possibly because of Jay-Z. He kind of alluded to it. He said he said he wanted to know why my man Kareem got locked up. Like, why are the Feds on us like that? He said Irv Gotti had the Feds on. We know about Irv getting the Feds on him, and a couple other people had the Feds on them. So he was kind of like, he really can't deal with Jay-Z until he had that, that conversation. You know what I mean? So really it was somebody on Jay-Z's team that was giving up information, which is, it kind of makes you look bad, man. It does. It does. I mean, to me personally, I'm not gonna stop dealing with Jay-Z.
Yeah,
because it happened.
I mean, he's your favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and somebody that we both look up to as businessmen,
right?
Also Dame Dash, but like you brought the story up,
right?
And it's interesting and alludes to it. So, would you honestly say, in your honest estimation, from hearing all of this and knowing all this and now seeing the app, is it good for people? Is it good for the inmates? Is it good for the people going in and out of jail? Just something deeper in there.
It could be. We don't know all the back end, anything that's going on in the back end. We stop.
No, you're good.
Okay. We don't know what's going on, like if there's any back end deals, but from the onset, it does look like it could be a good thing for people, simply because when you go down. Let me just read some of what Jay-Z is actually saying, so we can get a better perspective.
Yes, sir.
Of this. I don't want to hear his words more than mine. So Jay-Z goes on to say, "We are increasingly alarmed by the injustice in our criminal justice system. Money, time, and lives are wasted with the current policies. It's time for innovative and progressive technology that offers sustainable solutions to tough problems." Now, the CEO of Promise is saying, "We're building an app that can provide liberty and justice for millions." Now, I don't know what they mean by the liberty and justice, but one thing that they're doing is they're going to be helping people, in addition to helping with drug testing, substance abuse treatment, and things like that. It's going to actually help people find jobs and different things like that. And they also say people are going to jail because they look at a piece of paper and misread it, or are going to jail because they can't afford a class because they are paying child support. He says many of these people are black and brown. And it says last year when Senators Kamala Harris and Rand Paul introduced a bail reform bill, the Pretrial the Pretrial Integrity and Safety Act, they wrote in the opt-in how black and Latinx people, okay, that must be a typo. Black and Latinx people are more likely to be detained before a pretrial and less likely to be able to pay for bail. Now, Senator Harris and Paul pointed to how black and Latino men pay 35 to 19% higher bail, respectively, than white men. He says, "We're putting people in jail because they are poor, black, and brown. We're spending money the wrong way." Now, they're addressing, those people say they're not doing nothing for black and brown people. Right there, they're addressing a problem, in the community by trying to keep people out of the system,
right,
as opposed to going through the system. So they're trying to be an intermediator. So the answer is, the proof is in the pudding. They're keeping you out of now. What I think is going to be more important, I'm glad that they have it on the back end, is the skills training, because you can take somebody out, but if they don't have an economic base to support themselves, they're going to be right back in.
Right or wrong, in this situation, they would need the cooperation of the legal system for this app to work, because they would need records, they would need schedules and things like that. So why would they help?
Well, that's a good question, man. To me, I know that the system is pretty much set up, and they make money off people in there.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So they're going to want more people. They got to fill a quota. That's just what it is. They tell you that.
Right.
They got to keep these, in the states. A lot of states, probably all the states at this point, are cooperating with, filling that quota to keep these beds, filled. And they're building more and more prisons. So it's a start. At the end of the day, it's a start. It might be a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. I can understand what people are saying, and we're going to have to see what comes. But it's a start. I think Jay-Z getting his feet in the political mud, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I don't know, it just... The more, like I said, initially you look at the situation and it seems great, but you start understanding and digging deeper into it, and you don't want to villainize the brother, because I'm on Jay-Z's team. I want to see him when I want to see him do the right thing. But at the end of the day, we don't know anybody's real intention. We don't. And there's a lot of hills and hurdles he has to climb and jump in order for this thing to really be successful, and he needs the cooperation of certain people. Then you hear, and it goes to the naysayer's point, because it goes, if you have the cooperation in this kind of situation, why? How do you have this kind of cooperation in that situation if something ain't deeper? And you got your Dame Dashes alluding to what they're alluding to and things like that. But as a fan of Jay-Z and as a fan of his music and as a fan of his brand, it's so hard to not believe that he's doing the right thing. But I can honestly attest to myself, and I have to say you too, you're coming from a polarized state of mind, because we're so much fans of him. We got to look at this situation from a real out-of-box objective view. and really see if it's right for the people or it isn't. Because at the end of the day, that $3 million will be recouped. We understand how taxes work.
Of course.
We understand how that works. So he could be...
A lot of people saying that ain't shit either.
Not for him.
Right.
He's on his way to $1 billion. We know collectively with him and his family make collectively. So they well off $3 million.
I want to think, like, again, the bias thing. I want to think that he, you know, has the best. But then I have to bring up this question, you know, how come it seems like Jay-Z and Beyonce's image is just way too clean with that being said. And it just seems at some point in time, you know, that they're going to run this guy through the mud, man. I just feel it coming. I don't know what. But think about it, even Bill Cosby, man.
Yeah, but my question to you is, what if they don't? What if he never gets ran through the mud? What if that's a deeper question? Now what does that say? And at the end of the day, I mean, we just have to go, because he is front line. You see him with Trayvon Martin. You hear him say free me. He's vocal about the injustices in America and in society today, and he has put dollar toward those causes. So at the end of the day, you have to praise him for that. And it's more than what other people are doing. You got a lot of people out here complaining about Jay-Z, and we have us over here right now being critical because we have to. But at the end of the day, he's out here doing what most people aren't. So he has to be saluted for that. And we can only follow that blueprint, no pun intended, and work our ways and do the same thing, and then change the situation if we have an authentic heart toward it. Because we have, at the end of the day, don't know what his real intention is. We can only support what we see on the out front. The
thing be, not to interrupt you, like, what has he done? I'm asking you this.
Yeah.
Up until now for the community, because I know why people say it, because they look at Brooklyn and they say, oh, the Barclays Center. They be like, fuck the Barclays Center. That's really not no big job for nobody. You might have a couple minimum wage popcorn stand jobs.
Yeah.
Certain, you know, that's not even year round.
Yeah.
Now, we know that. So that's what people know. No community centers, no schools. Nothing in Brooklyn. I don't know of anything. Maybe there is something, but I don't know of anything. That's why I think the criticism is, you know, coming from with all that. So is Jay-Z a friend or foe? We have enough information now. You know, I think, you know.
Well, I mean, it's a great question to ask. Why not? Why hasn't he? When you see Angela Yee, DJ Envy, shout out to the Breakfast Club, putting a juice bar out in Brooklyn. You see the same thing with Jada Kiss out in, I believe, Queens of Yonkers. They putting juice bars and stuff like that, trying to give back to the youth a healthy alternative to the nonsense that they give us in the city, you know what I mean? So you see people going to the ground root and building from the inside out. So it goes to show you got somebody that has talked best out in a lot of his records. We all know best out Brooklyn. We all know that. You know what I mean? So murder, Mossy, Bill, my nigga, you heard? But we all know that. You know what I mean? So that has made him a lot of notoriety in his music. And like you said, no community centers. No outreach programs, nothing within the community. It does beg to show you, and you can understand and attest why the people within those trenches can be critical of that brother. I mean, why not? At the end of the day, so I mean, so my question to you would be, oh God, what is he doing then? I mean, what is the end result? Does he just want to claim power? Does he want to be just a part of the power structure in the society? And then, I mean, in the end of the day, they're only going to allow him to get butt so far unless he does what? I mean, what is he doing? We hear a documentary 60 years down the road saying he was an FBI informant. Like,
I truly don't believe it, to be honest with you. I truly don't. I think he's trying to do his thing as strategically as he can.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that one day they're going to try to destroy him. I even heard him say, said they're going to kill him one day. That's what he said in the song. Man, I listen to people's lyrics.
Yeah.
And I also listen to, one of the, his old stuff. And all you gotta do it. So I think Jay-Z is a spook that's set by the door to a certain extent. Like, he knows a lot. He's smart. He knows a lot of the same, information that, the enlightened ones are privy to, quote unquote. You know what I mean? He knows that same information. So, we Masons away enough. But I'm holding my phone, so I can't put the triangle up. But yeah, man, I think Jay-Z is definitely the real deal at the end of the day. And I think at a point, if he's not attacked at some point, then I think it'll be confirmation once he is attacked that he's the real deal. That's how we're gonna know with him. If he's too clean, even after he died, like if something come out on Jay-Z, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a problem. But I think Jay-Z's the real deal. That's just me personally. I could be wrong with shit, but that's just what I feel.
I want to hope he is. I definitely want to hope he is, because we need people like him. And if he is just Black Panther and Wakanda in the aspect of just that Hollywood hero that we so desperately yearn for and need, then let's help some motherfuckers take his example and build the right way and do the right things, because we're going to need to in order for our people and our children and the children after that to survive out here in this crazy ass world we got going on. Oh God, that's a dope topic, man. We could go into depth about that. I want to kind of start.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Uncensored True SamAnt podcast. Make sure you go down to the description box, click all the links to stay updated on everything we got going on. Stay tuned for the new YouTube channel, Uncensored Truth, coming your way real soon. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Until next time, make sure you go up top and hit that like button and the notification button. We out of here. Peace.